Not the version from postcards or Instagram. But the version with half-melted gelato, long pauses in the middle of cobblestone streets, and strangers who become stories. This is a film about slow travel, and how moving through Europe without a plan can change how you see everything. Especially yourself. There's a pace to modern travel that feels like pressure. Check in, check out. Landmark, selfie, move on. I'd done that for years, city after city, photo after photo. Until it all blurred, then something changed. I decided to travel slower. Not just geographically, but mentally. No packed itineraries. No rushing. Just listening. Waiting. Letting the place shape the day. Europe, with all its beauty and contradiction, is the perfect place for this kind of journey. Its cities hum with quiet history. Its nature hides behind train windows, waiting to be touched. Its culture isn't loud, it whispers, softly, to those who slow down enough to hear. This is the story of 5 places. Not just where I went, but how I felt there. Porto wasn't in my original plan. I arrived on a whim, and stayed because the air felt older. Not worn out, just wise. I spent my mornings in Muragaya, watching fishermen with sun-beaten faces untangle nets. No rush. They moved like the tide. Every afternoon, I walked across the Dom Wisai Bridge, staring down at the Douro River like it held all the world's secrets. A local baker named João said something that stayed with me. Tourists try to find the heart of a city in a map. Locals feel it in their feet. So I walked. Slowly. Past tiled facades, over cobblestones so uneven they made you look down, forced you to notice that I wasn't just seeing Porto. I was being in it. It was a Tuesday. The kind where the sky is a kind of impossible blue. I had taken a small train to Bolzano, then a bus that zigzagged upward until everything felt still. I stayed in a family-run guesthouse near Alpe di Susi, the largest alpine meadow in Europe. There was no Wi-Fi that night. Just wind. And the distant sound of cowbells, somewhere below the mist. The next morning, I walked for hours. Not to reach a destination, but to hear my own footsteps against the earth. The mountains weren't loud. They didn't try to impress you, they just stood, massive, patient, eternal. I realized something there. The quiet in nature isn't emptiness. It's invitation. And for the first time in months, my mind was quiet too. Ljubljana surprised me. It's a capital city, but it feels like a neighborhood. No horns. No chaos. Just soft music from the riverside and old men playing chess in the park. I met Anna, a local ceramicist, at a small arts fair. Her stall had hand-molded cups, no two alike. I bought one. She wrapped it gently in recycled newspaper and smiled. Things take longer to make by hand, she said. That's what makes them honest. That evening, I floated down the Ljubljana River in a wooden boat. The guide didn't talk much, neither did the tourists. We just watched golden light spill over the bridges like syrup. Ljubljana doesn't beg to be noticed. It waits, and that makes all the difference. Provence was an accident. I'd missed a connection in Lyon, and instead of backtracking, I took a local train to Alsdot. No one talks about Als enough. It's not as famous as Nice or Avignon. But it felt human. The air smelled of lavender and dust. Cafes spilled onto sidewalks like the city had no edges. I spent an entire afternoon watching light shift over a faded yellow wall. Van Gogh once painted that in Provence, you don't chase beauty. You notice it. A cracked shutter. A glass of chilled rose. A grandmother humming to her cat. There was no checklist. No must-see. Just one moment at a time, each one enough. That's when it hit me. Sometimes, the best itinerary is no itinerary at all. Budapest felt like a contradiction, crumbling and rising all at once. Baroque facades next to ruined pubs. Thermal baths next to brutalist towers. I stayed near Fisherman's Bastion, in a creaky Airbnb with keys too big for their locks. At night, the city lit up gold across the Danube like it had something to prove. I wandered into a folk music concert one evening, no plan, just curiosity. Old violins, young players. A woman in the back cried through the whole performance. No one asked why. No one interrupted that. I left that hall with a strange kind of ache, the kind that tells you culture isn't just in museums, that it's in how people carry memory. How they grieve and dance and pass things on. Europe doesn't tell its story in one language. You have to feel your way through it. I thought slow travel was about skipping the lines, avoiding tourist traps. Finding the authentic. But that's not it. That it's about presence. When you move slowly, you don't just see more. You feel more, the old man with the pipe who nods as you pass, the church bell you hear from bed, the bread still warm because you got up early enough to taste it. You begin to travel not to escape your life, but to return to it, clearer, because slow travel doesn't change what you see, that it changes what you pay attention to. Looking back, I can barely remember the big sights, that I don't have a photo in front of the Eiffel Tower, that I didn't make it to the Colosseum, and yet, I remember the way the sea smelled. In Porto, the weight of a ceramic mug. In Ljubljana, the silence in the Dolomites. Slow travel taught me that the real Europe isn't behind glass, that it's in motion. In stillness. In people. In pauses, and in the words I wrote down, somewhere in a quiet town square. The best moments on the road never make it to Instagram. They stay with you, in your pace, your breath, your eyes. If you're planning a trip to Europe, maybe, don't plan everything, let yourself get lost. Miss a train. Take the long way. That if you want more stories like this, real, raw, and slow, I'll be here, telling them one heartbeat at a time.